Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cars and Coffee with Kenny Brown Show. We have with us Brad, my very friendly host, and he's very happy today because, Brad, why don't you show everybody what you have behind you. Can you move your head a little bit?
Okay, yeah, I have my fresh new Impact Racing chair.
Isn't that awesome? His wife actually purchased that, surprised him, and purchased that for his birthday. And happy birthday early, Brad. So we won't be on air when it's your birthday, but happy birthday. His birthday is July 31st. So happy birthday, Brad. Like to see who's in the audience today. We have a very special guest. We have Ben O'Connor from Impact Racing. He is going to be on and answering a question that we had last week from Wendy Moretz. So he'll be answering that. Also, I forced him into showing some of his products. He doesn't want to be too salesy, so I said, no. We have so many people that want to see your products. So will you please show some of your products? So he'll be doing that as well. And he has graciously wants to give away a free pair of Impact Racing gloves. So if you're tuned in right now, I'll tell you, we'll be announcing it throughout the show. But how to win the free pair is you need to add your name and make sure you type your name in because sometimes I don't see your name in the comments. Add your name and also give us a little thumbs up or a heart or something. And then at the end of the show, Ben will be choosing the winner. So let's get going. Also, I forgot the most important part. We're going to be playing a video of Kenny on how to choose the right gear ratio. And we have many requests on that, so we thought we would play that. It's about 5 minutes, and then we'll have Ben on. So, Brad, you want to play that?
Yep. All right, here we go. It doesn't seem to be working. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, well, I'm going to over-talk Brad while he's getting that prepared. As you know, if you've been with us for a while, we typically have some kind of
some track days, and he's taking a 95 Mustang from a live axle to an IRS, which is going to be a really cool car, and he's got a monster motor in it. Anyway, here's this question. Let's see, for my Mustang, I don't want to mess with swapping gears between tracks, track to street, street to track, street to autocross, etc. The car is 95 with a KV IRS, a 428 Windsor Tremec, a TKO 600, 400 horsepower, 500 pounds of torque. What's the best gear choice? I've been running a 410 for 13 plus years and running this car, and it's fantastic on the street and autocross, but never had it on open track. And that is the plan for next year. So should I stay with a 410 or run the 355 that came with the IRS center section, or go in the middle of 373? Well, here's the thing. My recommendation is, before you overthink this, you have to drive it on track with a 410 and see how it works. Now, I can tell you that when we do gearing for race cars, with them we've got like for David's car out west, it's got a Ford 9-inch in it, and it's really easy to change gears. I mean, you just pull the axles out, take all the bolts off, pull the entire assembly out, drop a new one in, and it takes about half hour, 45 minutes to do a gear change. But what we're always looking for in racing is in fourth gear, which is the 1-to-1 ratio. In fourth gear, we're always looking for it to be just a tickle under the red line on the longest straightaway. Okay, we'll gear through the rear end ratio, so it's just tickling the red line in fourth gear on the longest straightaway. And that way, if somebody gets a really good run off of, the previous corner, and they get to red line, they still have a ways to go. Fifth gear is like 0.8, so it's not that much of a drop. So you maintain momentum. So that's kind of how we gear it. I need to pull up something here. I did a chart for David's AIX car. You can actually go online and find these formulas, but this is for what I'm looking at is the top speed in fourth gear on a Windsor motor, the 6,900 RPM. Now these are 4.9, so the number is a little bit different than 8.8. So fourth gear with the 389 is 139, 411 is 132, 429 is 127, and in fifth gear you can see you got a pretty big jump in speed, but you also lose a little bit of mechanical advantage when you go the 8.8. Now with the Windsor with a 6,500 RPM, it's kind of everything just drops down a little bit. So for the 389, it's 132 in fourth. 411 is 125, and then if we're looking at a Coyote in fourth gear, because our track was we could rev to 7,900, is like 160 in fourth gear with the 389, 152 with the 410, 145 with the 429. So this is kind of how we figured it, and we picked, I can't remember which one we picked, but he was estimating what his top speed would be in the tracks he runs in fourth gear, and we picked the rear end ratio based off of that. Now, I mean, it's pretty simple. You go online and there's formulas. You just plug in, the RPM, the tire diameter, gear ratios, and it'll just spit out some numbers. So that's how we kind of do it with race cars. Now, as far as getting back to Ben's, I think you need to start with the 410 and see where you are. If you're on long straightaways, because the Windsor's going to not have as much of a rev limit. I had no idea what the rev limit is. I'm going to say 6,500. If you have to shift from fourth to fifth, he's got a TKO, so hopefully he's got a 0.8 fifth gear. So have to shift from, if a long straightaway, you have to shift from fourth to fifth. Then you might want to drop down to 373, or just kind of do some calculations and see, okay, I need to be this much more speed at the end of the straightaway, and then you can just figure out what kind of gear ratio to run. But the very first thing is just try it. I know, like on our Cobra race cars, the Tremec TKO with the Tremec Magnum XL, we're on 410s with the Cobras, and that seems to work out really, really well. Now with the 11 to 14 Cobras, we run the 373s, and that works out really well. So it just kind of depends on the tracks you run on. What are you looking to do? You want to get your top speed in fourth gear to kind of sync with the track.
Well, hello. What did you think of that? It's always fun getting some of Kenny's knowledge, and I thoroughly enjoy listening to him. Kind of sad sometimes, but it's actually kind of heartwarming too. And he always has so much to share. I want to say a hi to a few people here. Jay Meyer from Buffalo, New York. Fred Frencher, Louisville. We just saw you this past week, Fred. Look at Brad. You see how many people are saying happy birthday to you? If you were late for the show, oh, Brad, let me see your coffee mug there.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
So
That's kind of our prototype right now.
This is my Kitty Brown Signature Series coffee mug. And so I made this at home. And if you want one, we can make some for you too.
So anyway, that's our next project we're working on.
This is a new product sneak peek. And see, it even has the logo on there. I don't know if you can see it now. Yeah, it's got the signature on the other side as well. So how cool is that?
That is really awesome. So that's our next product we're working on. Kenny was working on it with us, and so we're just continuing that on. Again, we're continuing a lot of things on in the company that he was working on. So it's kind of refreshing, and it's great to carry on his legacy. It looks like Joe from Humboldt, Texas, and Rory, it's good to see you. Chris Smith, those office chairs are awesome. Well, Chris, just wait. You see that Brad has one behind him, but Ben brought one in to show you today, and it's really comfortable. I sat on it. It's firm yet comfortable. It's a really nice sitting chair. So we'll be showing that in a few minutes. I wanted to make another announcement in case you joined us a little bit late. Ben has graciously decided to give away a set of racing gloves. So if you would like to win those, put your name in the comment with the name Impact, so we know that that's what you're trying to win that. And then also give us a thumbs up. So we need some of those thumbs up, and then you will be entered in the contest, and we will be announcing the winner of the Impact Racing Gloves at the end of this program. I'm going to be introducing Ben right now. And the first thing he's going to do is answer a question that you guys have. Then I'll have you step in with me. How's that sound? Here's Ben.
How are you doing?
If you guys have been with the program before, you've seen Ben on here. He's one of our most popular guests, and so we thought we'd have him again. We have so many people that request they want to see the products, and typically, Kenny would show some products and talk tech. That's exactly what Ben's going to be doing. He'll be showing you some of the products. We have high requests for that, so we thought we would oblige and do that. And again, you don't know how you're going to choose the person that wins the gloves yet, do you?
No.
So we'll be announcing that at the end.
Random.
Yes, it will be random. I'm going to tell him how to choose. So at the end of the show, make sure you put your name and the word Impact in the comments, and then give us a like, and you'll be entered in the contest to win those gloves. Well, without further ado, I wanted to say one more thing. So the first question that Ben is answering is from Wendy Moritz, and she asked this and thought we should cover it. So we are. So remember, if you want us to cover anything on upcoming programs, put it in the comments or give us a call. And if you want any future guests, please put it in the comments. We look at all those, and we will take note of it and see what we can do. Well, without further, I didn't even tell you who you were. Ben, he's a good friend, and he's been in the industry for years and years and has a ton of knowledge. So without further ado, please give Ben a warm.
Thank you.
Take care, Ben.
Try not to flub this up too bad. Hello, everybody. I believe the questions regarding SFI in terms of a counterfeit product. Here about 2 weeks ago, SFI had sent out a notification to all the manufacturers stating that there were a couple companies, or one particular company, and about a week later they followed up with another one that was producing SFI counterfeit labels. The product still wasn't counterfeit, it was their product, but they were counterfeiting SFI labels. And what that means is that SFI, back up a little bit, SFI is a foundation dedicated to testing and validating certain aspects of safety equipment in terms of safety. So in this particular case, they were driving suits, and when you validate, test, homologate through SFI, They give you approval, and then they sell you the SFI tags. You have to buy them through them, and then you'd sew those affixes onto the product that you're selling, whether that's shoes or gloves or suits or whatever that might be. And what had happened was this company, I won't say the name of the company, it's not my place to do this. I'll give you guys some resources towards the end here that you can use to look this stuff up. But what was happening is they were just producing their own SFI tags in their own garments and then selling them as SFI approved. Now, the company may or may not have even known what SFI does. It was a foreign company. And we see this a lot of times where companies will just copy products and they don't really know what they're copying or why or whatever, but they copy everything. So in this particular case, they were being shipped over with SFI tags. So one of the things that you want to talk about is you want to make sure whatever product you're buying, whether it's ours or anybody else's, you want to make sure that it meets the criteria, the safety criteria that it claims it does. And the only way you really know that is if by choosing a garment that is either SFI, FIA is another one, or SNELL in the case of helmets. And all of these three organizations, SFI, FIA, and SNELL, have resources on their own websites. Anybody can go to their websites. And I don't know the other two, but SFI is simply sfifoundation.com. And within there, you can search manufacturers and even specific products to make sure that the garment or product that you're looking at meets that criteria. So if you were to go to SFI and you down tab impact and you say, look at our racer suit, right? And it's got, the SFI label on it right here on the sleeve, right? But we put that on, right? So you can look that up and then determine that or validate, confirm that, okay, yeah, that does meet SFI testing protocols and homologation, right? So it's real important. Obviously, you want to make sure that whatever you're buying meets those specifications, because sometimes not every sanctioning body is savvy to all the different manufacturers out there. So it is possible that you could buy a garment that doesn't meet these standards, which obviously could be dangerous, show up at a sanctioned event, and they may let you go just because they don't know. They see the tag and they go, okay, whatever, right? It's got an SFI tag, you're good to go. But you want to make sure yourself that, due diligence, you want to make sure that the garment that you're using meets the specifications. So that's real important. The other thing is you can look at different places and products. Like I just showed you a jacket, the SFI tag there's on the sleeve. That's a pretty commonplace. Helmets, SNELL, SFI, and FI all tend to do it, but the most common one is SNELL. Like in our helmet, you'll see it's hard to see in the lighting here, but there's a SNELL tag back there in the back of the helmet. You got to pull the padding down, right? And that'll tell you what iteration of specification it is too. Like SNELL, SNELL every 5 years changes the specifications of the helmet requirements. The idea being that conceivably each iteration of helmet is safer than the last. Now, SFI, with their garments in particular, they haven't really changed those specifications in a number of years. You have SFI, there's 1, 5, 15, and 10, 15, and 20. The most common are going to be 1, 5, 15, and 20. They haven't really changed those in years. So the helmets are the one you really got to look out for. And a lot of sanctioning bodies will require you to update to a newer standard helmet every 5 years. Most typically, they'll let you run usually the current SNELL or prior. So that's 10 years minimally, sometimes up to 11. They'll give you a 1-year grace period to replace it. Anyways, so that's that. You want to make sure that what you're buying is there are resources out there. Like I said, check FIA if it's an FIA product, or if it's a sanctioning body you're running with requires you to run FIA. SNELL for most helmets. And then, like I said, SFI is going to govern mostly everything, but mostly suits, gloves, shoes, and things like that. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on any of that, I can open up the floor to that if anybody's got anything they want to ask. No? Are we good?
It takes us, there's a delay in getting the comments. So what we will do is we will announce the impact giveaway today. So we are having, Ben has decided to give away a set of impact racing gloves. So if you'd like to enter, please put your name and the word impact in the comments, and then give us some thumbs up, and you'll be entered. And then we will be announcing the winner at the very end of the show. So let's see if there's any questions. Brad, do you see any questions in there? Not yet. So Ben, why don't you go ahead?
I said, okay. No worries.
Okay, why don't you continue on?
Yeah. We will, with that, we'll segue into gloves. Let's talk about gloves. So we manufacture 3 different types of gloves, and I'll break it down here. I'll just show these real quick. This is our G6 glove. This one we'll be giving away. We've got our Axis glove and then our Alpha glove. So the G6 glove, this is rated a 328.5 again rating, so that you can use this in most form of motorsports. All of these are rated 5 gloves, and again, they have SFI 15 and 20s, but those are typically used more in drag racing, top alcohol, top fuel. All the stuff that we'll be talking about today is going to be more oriented toward road racing or lower class drag racing and off-road, things like that. So it's an SFI glove. It is an internal stitch glove, which means it's sewn on the inside, right? They sew it inside out, then they turn it, flip it out, and they're done. That's a pretty traditional way of making gloves. Almost all the gloves that we see in our everyday life are manufactured that way. It says leather in both palms and fingers, thin, so you still have some good tactile feel, but the leather really helps assist a little bit of grip, but also increases the wear rating of the glove as well. So that's the glove that we're going to be giving away today. So one lucky viewer there. The next glove is going to be our Axis glove. So as we step it up, what we talk about are things in terms of ergonomics and comfort, and then increased tactile feel. So the Axis glove is externally stitched, so you can see the stitching, on the outside of the glove. And don't really know the origins of that. They've been around a number of years now, but I suspect.
I'm going to interrupt you because it's really hard to see your gloves here because of our lighting. Do you want to step over here and I'll pass you product?
Oh, yeah, okay.
How's
all
that
right.
sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We're being impromptu here, so we have better lighting over here. We're having a little bit of difficulty with our set because it's so dark, so it keeps everything else dark. So anyway, we're putting the camera on, and then we'll continue on.
All right, good. All right, so again, you have the leather in both palms and fingers there for increased wear resistance. External stitch, and the reason I think it was, originally, so we don't really know the origins, but I have a feeling that it was probably a mistake at some point. Somebody probably sewed one the wrong way inside out, and they went to flip around like, oh my God, yeah, this thing's inside out. But what they realized is by keeping the stitching on the outside, it makes for more comfortable glove because it's not bunching up on the inside of the glove. Now, that's not to say that the first glove I showed you, the G6, there is uncomfortable. It's actually a very, very, very comfortable glove, but this just takes that up another notch. So then from there, we go to our Alpha glove, and this is our top of the line glove. Okay, again, external stitch. It has silicone embossed fingertips, again for increased grip, and very light tactile feel, so that the driver vehicle interface is greatly enhanced with the glove like this, right? And anytime we talk about driving, performance driving, that connectivity, that interface between the driver and the vehicle is really critical. So the better feel you have, better control you have, the better your driving is going to be. But the other difference between this glove is that it's pre-curved, meaning that before they sew it, it's patterned in such a way that it naturally wants to curl up, and that helps reduce the bunching up on the inside of the fingers. So again, all helps increase that. These are available in 3 different colors: black, white, and then of course neon yellow. Neon yellow is somewhat of a trend in style. We're seeing that, but it also has some safety benefits to it as well for signaling. If you want to do a wave by, right, a yellow glove is pretty easy to see. If you need to signal somebody from inside the car, very easy to see. So we're starting to see it used more and more in all sorts of motorsports, just based on the safety aspect of being able to see the glove. So there's that. Talk about a roller bag real quick, since we're here. As the name, as I just said, roller bag. It's got a set of wheels there, telescoping handle. This thing just has a ton of space in it. A lot of different compartments. We've got a padded compartment here for helmets. You can actually put 3 helmets in here if you want, or a couple helmets. You've got a place for your shoes, gloves, gear. There, you've got a separate compartment up here on top that you can move this divider around. Right, so you can different things. Put maybe your suit up here, or your street clothes if you need a place to store those while you're on track. You've got some banded mesh deal here, maybe for your after track sock use here. And you want to air them out a little bit to still have somewhere to put it. Pocket for your maybe your wallet or something like that. External pockets here. These travel pretty good. They'll most airlines will take these without any issues. So they're good for other use other than just maybe your safety gear. So.
You want something else over here?
Right now, I'm just going to jump into these, and then we'll perfect. Right. So this is a balaclava, and even in maybe where you're not required to use a balaclava, it's really a good idea. It's just an extra layer of fire protection, fire resistance protection. Is obviously underneath the helmet and on their head there. But one of the challenges with a lot of the traditional balaclavas is they have a single eye port or dual eye port, and it covers the entire face and nose. And that's not really problematic for most short-term races, but in an endurance racing situation, if you have a drink system or something like that, that can be problematic because you literally have to pull it all the way down, stretch it out underneath your chin. And it's very uncomfortable. With this, it allows you to just move that up and down easily so that you can access a drink system or even a bite to eat or something like that.
Question on the FIA ratings. That's for fire protection, correct?
Yeah, they cover helmets and also fire ratings as well.
And that's what's important as far as the protection on the balaclava and the suits and all this.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and they've also had different standards, just like SFI does as well. So, and again, great resource. You can go to their website and you can find all that stuff on there. It's just a wealth of information. SFI, I've spent a lot of time on SFI website because 95% of the products we do are SFI homologated. We don't do a lot of FIA homologation. We have a couple products, but most of our stuff is SFI. But there's a wealth of information on there beyond just if you want to know if a manufacturer's product meets a specification, whatever. There's a ton of stuff on there for tracks, safety crews, obviously drivers. Just a lot of really, really good information. So if you ever want to get schooled up on automotive safety or motorsport safety, it's a great resource. Not that this is a safety related product, but as Cari mentioned earlier with Brad, our new office gaming chair there that we just introduced here this month, and fully featured gaming and office chair. A little bit different. You'll find your typical gaming and office chairs on the market there. The foam is a little bit stiffer, but yet compliant and offers good support. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've always noticed when you buy an office chair, just run-of-the-mill office chair, or any of those for that matter, you tend to be sitting. It's like sitting on a board. The foam is really thin. It's really mushy. I mean, as soon as you sit down, you blow right through it. These, because they're based on the same technology and actually some of the same components as an actual driving seat, right? You don't have that. There's no wood bottom to this seat. It's got a bit of a suspension on it, and you can see it's a good pivot there, right?
It's really cool.
Got a good amount of recline. It doesn't recline as much as an automotive seat
No, but
because
it
you're
feels
to
like
tip
it.
over backwards,
Feels
but
more
you've
like-
got quite a bit of range there.
Yeah, it feels like an
Right.
automotive seat versus an office chair.
Yeah, and it also has the adjustable lumbar,
Okay.
which is again
Where's
really
that
nice.
button?
It's up a little bit higher right here. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
So I
And
have-
then the
That's really nice.
yeah, and then the armrests are completely adjustable. You can move up and down, and also forward and back, so you get the position just right where you want it. But
That's
and like I said, and a little bit of a lumbar support there for those wild excursions in the office there, maybe those hallway office mate drag races. There. Got a little extra support there. Right?
That would be awesome. What I like about this red one, you have black and
Yeah, yeah. You did black with a little bit of white trim, but mostly black, and then the black one here, the red trim.
I really liked about this is the price point. It's
Yeah, $350, which for a high-end office chair is
Yeah.
pretty competitive
well,
as far
I've been
as
looking at higher office chairs, and this is I like this better.
yeah,
Of course, it looks easy too.
right, right for sure. We can talk about shoes.
Something right here, and there's two more here.
All right. So same kind of concept, the good, better, best, or different features, I guess is probably a better way to put it, because this shoe is actually our least expensive shoe, but it's also our most popular, and for good reason. This is the Axis shoe. Again, these all meet the SFI 5 requirement there. Right, you've got a Velcro latch there, high top for good protection and support. Wrap around sole, like a lot of your, and we'll get into this a little bit, the different types of soles. Still thin enough, so you've got that good tactile feel, you've got good support for heel toe if you're doing that. But this shoe really, because of the tread and the way that the sole's designed, is a really good combination, driving and pit use, right? A lot of the really pure driving shoes are not very comfortable to walk around in. And especially, in most of the pits that you'll find at most racetracks aren't paved. And a lot of times you may be in the gravel or grass and rocks and things like that. So some of those shoes can be pretty uncomfortable. This is a great shoe for that. The driver's working on their own vehicle. Maybe they don't have time in between, rounds to go completely change and do what they need to do and then get back in the car for the next session and put the shoes back on. That's a great shoe. You can walk around in it all day, be comfortable, and then have that protection you need when you're on track, and also have a good heel toe. Super, super popular in off-road because it's rugged enough where they can hike out if they need to. So from there, we're looking at the Alpha shoe. Now, the Alpha shoe, it's a lighter shoe. It's a little thinner and just lighter overall. But again, if you look at the sole here, it's pretty thin. All right, so you're not going to get a lot of support that way and side support things. So, I said off track, you're gonna feel more of that stuff, but it's still thicker than a lot of, say, pure driving shoe, which we'll get to next. But that's just a good lightweight shoe, mid height. Again, good flexibility, good heel toe capability with that one. The Phenom shoe is our top of the line shoe. So you've got a polished calf skin finish that doesn't to maybe help keep it from getting dirty and whatever, maybe mud or something like that. Again, if you're walking around the pitch or whatever. But again, really thin sole. The sole really was designed purely as a pure driving shoe. That's not to say you can't wear the pits, but it's not really designed for that. It really was designed to be more of just an absolute driving shoe. Very lightweight, perforation for good breathing, excellent support. A little bit stiffer. It's not going to move around as much that way. Again, to really assist that heel toe. Velcro latch with the laces there to adjust it, and we make that shoe in there's a black and then a white version. This is a new shoe for us this year. Actually, a redesign. We completely redesigned that shoe. Pretty snazzy looking shoe there. far as that goes. From there, we can talk about, let's grab that jacket real quick. Let's talk real quick about that. A lot of, when running open track, there's a lot of sanctioning bodies or open track coordinators and whatnot may not require you to wear FR protection, fire rated protection. But it's always a good idea, obviously. The flames aren't any cooler in a gas-powered Mustang than they are in an Indy car. Fire's fire, right? And I know I'm going to get some comments and feedback about that whole PTUs of alcohol versus you get what I'm saying. It's hot, and any of them can cause severe injury. So it's always a good idea to wear some fire protection anytime you're on track. I think anytime you're in a track environment, you should be wearing a helmet. You should be wearing some sort of fire protection. And one of the things that people will do if it's not required, well, I strongly suggest you wear pants and jacket, is maybe to minimally wear just a jacket, or wear a pant and jacket, and then when you get out of the car, you can take the jacket off, leave the pants on while you're in pit doing what you need to do, and then next session you can throw the jacket back on. That way you're not stuck in the suit all day long. Now check your sanction bodies. If you're competing, they may not allow a two-piece suit. Most of them don't. I don't believe in road racing, but for open track, that's open track days and things like that. That's a great option for you. This is our racer jacket here. Again, that's rated SFI 328F5, 3.285. Right, good thin 2-layer, nice comfortable inner liner, nice lightweight design. And this isn't even our lightest suit, but this is a really lightweight suit. The textile industry's really advanced a lot in the last 10 years. You're going to find that the suit that you would buy today is considerably less or considerably lighter than what you would have bought even 10 years ago. It's pretty amazing that way, and still meeting the same requirements in terms of FR ratings. So they're helmets, I think, right?
Yep. You want them in any order?
Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter. Just bring them out, I guess, and throw them out here, and then I can just grab them as we need them. So this is our 1320 helmet, the one I used to show where the Snell label was. This is a fiberglass helmet. So it's kind of, I guess, for lack of a better term, an entry-level helmet, although it's fully featured in terms of, shield mechanisms, the interior. This is the same. We use the same interior, same fabric, very soft, plush, supple helmet interior on all of our helmets, regardless of its, the $499, $399. Sorry, fiberglass 1320 helmet here, or our carbon fiber helmets. So you always get that same benefit of having that really soft, comfortable interior. So they are really, really comfortable helmets to wear. This is an air version. We offer this helmet air and non-air. All the helmets I'm going to show today, we offer them both ways. Something not typically used for track days, but is used in road racing and certainly other forms of motorsports and off-road and things like that is forced air. There are a ton of options available now in terms of forced air pumps and things like that. We don't do one ourselves, but there are several companies that do. I got to tell you, once you've done it, once you've ran a helmet with forced air, especially in the summertime when it's hot, you'll ask yourself why you never did it. It's really a great experience. It helps keep the shield from fogging, keeps any dust that might get in there out, but it really helps cool the driver as well. Air on our helmets comes in the top, channeled through the inside of the helmet, and that's a patent. We own the patent on that. Directs the air internally through these channels right here above the shield. So that really helps with the breathability, and again, keeping your face cool and things like that. The kind of step up from that's going to be this is the Vapor. Again, this fiberglass helmet, we actually make fiberglass helmet in this is the 1320, the Champ PT, sorry, and then the Charger. These will all be fiberglass helmets that we manufacture. Going up further, we get into our carbon Kevlar. So as the name would imply, it's got some carbon and Kevlar matting elements to it. It's actually got some other stuff in there. It's a true composite helmet. It has several different materials, but primarily carbon and Kevlar, and that's done to keep the weight down So you can build a little bit thinner shell, maintain that strength structure that you need. Same plush interior. And then we offer this, again, just like this one, a couple different eye ports. We have a tall eye port in the Draft series, and then the Vapor series have a narrow eye port. The ET, or the Champ ET and the Champ, which I didn't bring here, also has a nose bridge type. I think a lot of people are familiar with, kind of a Darth Vader looking helmet. Really common in drag racing. The design really helps you focus on the lights of Christmas tree. But most of these other ones, they all have really good peripheral vision. Obviously, that's important. Any type of driving you might be doing, you kind of want to know what's going on next to you. That's super important. And then it's really just a personal preference, whether you want a lot of visual or a little bit less. Some people, if you're a little bit claustrophobic, going to a helmet with a larger shield can really help with that quite a bit. One other helmet I want to show before we finish here. This is an SA 2015 helmet. So this is actually a helmet that we've discontinued. But I wanted to show it and let everybody know that we have these on clearance. This is actually a really nice, good lightweight helmet. This is also a carbon Kevlar helmet. Got a center detent design there. Again, it's not quite the same interior as we do in the other helmets. We don't be straight up honest. We don't manufacture this helmet in-house. All these other helmets, with the exception of this one, and there's two others. We do a over-the-wall crew helmet that we don't manufacture, and then we do a recreational play car helmet that we don't build in-house. But all the rest of them we manufacture right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And even the supplies and components and a lot of things we get are U.S. based, and in many cases even Indiana based. So we really are truly a U.S. manufacturer when it comes to helmets and most of the stuff that we do, really. But what's neat about this helmet, it's a good helmet. We have these at Snell and FIA, so if you do need an FIA homologated helmet. And we're offering this on clearance right now for $300 a piece. This helmet is normally $750, so it's an exceptional value for a lightweight carbon Kevlar type helmet. SA 2015 is the last homologation. It's not the most current one, but most sanction bodies will allow you to run an SA 2015 helmet through at least 2025, and a lot of them through 2026. Again, they'll kind of give you that extra year. But check with your sanction body. But for track days, you may not even need any particular homologation. It's a good, lightweight, safe helmet that you could use for those applications. So I'll tell you right now, we're out of large. I just checked before you came here. There were a couple left in stock, but I know they're spoken for. But these helmets run a little on the large side. We do have a medium large that is a smaller shell as well. We've got plenty of those. So if you normally would wear a large helmet, I would suggest just going with one of those unless you barely fit in a large. But if you're, large is a little bit on the loose side to you, to middle range, that medium large would work really, really well. We have plenty of extra large, double extra large, small, mediums left in stock as well. So again, that's an exceptional value for a carbon Kevlar helmet. I think that's it for the stuff I bought.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you. So I'm going to throw you for a loop here, too. Our cameraman today has been Rich Cottrell. And Rich, why don't you sit in that chair? I want to say a little something. So, Ben, we're really excited about this chair. And Rich was mentioning that he needed a new chair. And what did you tell him, Ben?
So, I told Rich that if he sold 10 of these, that I would give him one. So the number one reason you should buy these chairs is so Rich gets a new chair. So forget everything else he said, so Rich gets a new chair.
Spin around, Rich. Let's see the back of it. Kind of show the whole product up. It's almost like the Home Shopping Network.
That's right.
Oh, that's good.
And
So
great for office races.
yeah, they wear.
Exactly.
They scoot.
Yeah.
They. But anyway, so that's our inside a little joke here, and the company and Rich is trying hard to sell 10 of them. So anyway, I know they just came out, I think this week, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just started shipping
Okay.
them. Last week, I think. So yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
So is this the glove that
Was this the one? Yeah, this is
that
it.
you're giving away?
G6.
Okay. So again, this is the glove that Ben is going to, some lucky winner is going to win this glove. So, and in order, I'll announce it again, what you need to do is put in the comments your name and the word impact, and then also add a little thumbs up on the page. And you will be entered, and he will be picking the lucky winner here right after the Q&A. So if you have any questions for Ben, please put them in the comments. And Brad, are you going to be reading some of the questions there?
Yeah, I'd be happy to read the questions. And I had a couple of questions on my own too, so. Okay, there we go. You're muted, Cari.
Okay, there we go. So Brad, you have a few questions first?
Yeah, so I do. Let me scroll back up a minute and I'll hit the questions from the viewers. And we had a couple of good ones, so let me just find them. Bear with me here a second.
Yeah, there were some really good questions here. So
Okay, so we had a Facebook user, so I can't see their name, but the question was, for the 3 gloves reviewed, is there a difference in fire protection rating, or are they all the same?
Yeah, the 3 gloves that we're talking about today are all the same. It's to a 5 standard through SFI. They do make higher rated gloves, but typically you would only use those again for alcohol drag racing or top fuel. They have an SFI 15 and a 20. We don't do a 15, we do a 20 glove that's available.
Okay, and then so the next question is from Chris Smith, and this is a great question. Are there any gloves that you have that you can use on an iPad or a GPS system, for instance, in off-road racing when the co-driver is navigating?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, and I just realized that I forgot to bring that glove. Our Phenom glove has touchscreen capability. It is very similar to the Alpha glove that I showed you there. It is also pre-curve external stitch with the silicone in both fingertips, but it does have a special pad on, I want to say on the pointer finger and maybe the thumb, I think, but definitely on the pointer finger, that allows it to be used with devices like that.
So you could use that with a cell phone or with a Garmin device or with the type of screens that we use in off-road racing. So pretty much anything that has a touch screen, I guess, right?
Yeah, and I've actually played around with it even on my phone and had some pretty good results that way. I was surprised that, I'm fat-fingered to begin with, so you throw a glove on and it really makes it bad. But I was able, even on my cell phone, able to type out, literate words there with the gloves. So I was pretty impressed with that. They work pretty good. It's like anything else. There's you got to get the hang of it, and find the spot on the glove to do that. But for other stuff, most navigational systems, things like that, you got a little bit more room to work around with that. Where certain you want to pinch and pinch zoom, things like that, it's very easy to do that kind of stuff. So it works really well for that. And
cool.
engine control systems too. There's a lot of the I think Motec and some of the other ones also have on-screen capability now. Where we've got guys, and even in drag racing, maybe they'll do some changes before a pass. Maybe they're working on an index run or something like that. You want to dial something in, they can do that. So.
Okay, cool. So Dylan, who's one of our Speed Therapy Academy alumni members, he asked, what are the main differences from the original Phenom shoe and the new 2.0 Phenom?
The redesign really is more styling. Yeah, the shoes are the same as far as that goes, in terms of features and construction. There was really no change there. We made a little bit of improvement on the very bottom sole or traction part of the sole. We changed that a tiny bit, but nothing that's in terms of visuals. We had some delamination where the logo was kind of in extreme use situations that we addressed. And that's actually is even addressed in the older shoe before this one came out. But we want to make sure that we revise that, make sure everything's good as far as that goes. But yeah, it's mostly just a design change.
Okay, so next we have Walter.
I'm going to interrupt you, Brad. So again, this is your last call to enter the contest to win the free pair of Impact Racing gloves. So put your name in the comment and a little like, thumbs up, and put the word impact in the comment. So your name, the word impact, and give us a thumbs up. And you'll be entered. We're going to be calling that winner shortly.
Okay, so the next question is from Joe Johnson, who's another alumni member. His question is, does Impact Racing, do your helmets, all of your helmets come with anchors for a head and neck restraint, or a Hans device, or the Stand 21 Club 3 device?
Yeah, any helmet, any SA 2015 or 8859 2015 and an FIA manufactured starting in 2015, mandatory has to have the anchor points built into the helmet, the threaded insert, right? Now, so ours doesn't come with the FIA mandates that it has to actually be a Hans post, which really stinks for running something other than Hans. But Snell only dictates that it has to have this threaded insert, right? So, and it's common between all the manufacturers. They standardize that as well. It's an M6 thread pit. So whatever device you buy on the market will be compatible with any of the SA 2015, SA 2020 helmets. They screw right on. Even if you had an older helmet, you want to switch it over, you just unscrew the hardware and screw it on the new helmet, and you're good to go.
Okay, perfect. So Bill Haney has a question. Do fire suits have an expiration date?
So that's an excellent question. It depends on the series and the type of suit. So SFI, through working, I guess, with NHRA, has mandated that every 5 years, their SFI through to a 15 and 20 suits need to be inspected by the manufacturers and can be eligible for recertification. Now, not every manufacturer offers that service. We do, but in majority of them do, but not all of them. Where you'd send it back to manufacturer, inspect it, make sure everything's good, and affix new labels to it, and then you're good for another 5 years. And of course, there are restrictions and limitations to that. But anyways, it's basically how it works. On the SFI 5s, and I'm not sure about 10s. Nobody makes a 10 suit. And nobody even requires it that I'm aware of. It's a spec that SFI has listed, but I don't know of anybody that's ever required it or used it. But anyways, any of the SFI 5s, which is 90% of the suits you're going to run into out there, and 90% of the sanctioning bodies out there are going to require, like I said, the only time you ever see a requirement on 15s or 20s is usually NHRA or IHRA, some NMCA, some of these other drag racing. But in drag racing, when you're running, alcohol power adders or nitromethane, right? Almost everywhere else, they require an SFI 5. Typically, and sometimes they'll even allow you a 1, which is the lowest minimum standard, which I still wouldn't recommend anybody doing. If you're going to do it, please get yourself a good SFI 5 rated suit. So that's the majority of it. So yeah, there are, and those don't need to be recertified because, like I said, the standard hasn't changed since they initially announced that standard. And if they ever did change the standard, it would just be a different SFI rating. It wouldn't be an SFI 5, it'd be a 6 or whatever, right? And then it would just be a different suit. You couldn't up certify it or whatever anyway. So, but those suits to date don't need to be recertified or inspected.
So I'm going to bump in here. It's time to announce the winner.
All right.
And the way you're going to do it is 26 people followed the instructions and added their comments and liked it. So you get to pick a number between 1 and 26, and that is the winner.
All right.
You have a number?
Number one.
Number 1. Okay, that's easy for us.
First
Okay.
in.
Okay, we'll continue answering questions, and Rich will tally to see who the first person was, and he'll come in and give us the name.
All right. Very good.
Well, I know who the first person was, so I'm super happy
You're
to see.
not included.
I'm super happy to see them win. So I know who that first person is. So we do have another question that's a great question. Let me put you back on in your solo layout. Let's see. This is from a Facebook user, so I can't see their name, but this is a great question, and I'll add to it. What do you recommend for cleaning gloves and fire suits? And so I know that there's a chemical that you can use to wash your racing apparel that works really well, and the name of the product escapes me, but I've used it before, and it'll clean up a driving suit or a pair of gloves pretty easy. So do you know anything about that?
I don't remember the name of it either. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's super expensive, but you get a lot of washes out of it. Basically, you want to stay away from color fast detergent. Detergent you can wash it in your washing machine, cold, gentle cycle. Try to stay away. Like I said, stay away from color fast type products, although it can be a little bit difficult to do. And hang dry. The number one thing is don't dry the things. You can cook them; they will shrink, just like like cotton and other products of that fibrous nature like that. It does have a tendency to shrink. So you don't want to do that, and you just don't want to cook the suit. Although with Nomex, which all but our paddock suits are what they call ProBand or cotton treated fabric. That's a very entry level suit there that we don't really recommend for driving because of the comfort aspect of it. It's a great crew suit, but all our other suits are true Nomex. So it's not like you can wash out the protective properties of Nomex. That's the good thing about it. But you do, they are susceptible to shrinkage. So you got to be careful with that. So we don't recommend it, particularly if you have a custom suit with certain types of graphics. We do heat transfers and things like that would really be affected by the drying cycle. But really just gentle wash, and you can do that. A wool wipe works really good. That's still a good standard. If you want to hand wash them in the sink, and wool wipe, hand dry them. That's a really good way to go. We wash suits all the time when they come in for alterations and things like that, and that's how we do it. We just wash them in a washing machine, cold cycle, and laundry detergent, and then hang them to dry.
Okay, so that's information. The name of the product that I've used in the past for gloves and for driving suits is called Molecule. And
Molecule. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's made by a company called Molecule Sports. I did place a link in the comment section for anybody who's interested in that product. And like Ben said, it's quite expensive, but it is the best product on the market, and the only thing I've found that'll actually clean the suits, take stains out,
right. and not wash the color out. Right, it keeps the color really well too. I got a couple of drivers, professional drivers that have had suits of ours, custom suits that have had them for several years, and they still look new using that. So no, I've heard very, very good things about it.
Yep, great. So I don't think we don't have any more questions from the gallery. I had a question it goes back to the safety and the labeling. So that the SFI Foundation has a dedicated testing facility. I believe it's in California.
Yeah, Poway, California.
Yeah, so you can the manufacturers will submit their products to the SFI. SFI will test it. They'll certify it for safety. But how does the FIA, because the FIA is another, I guess they have their own safety labels. How do they test their products? Do they have their own facility, or do they use somebody?
I don't know if they have their own facility or not, but I do know that it's typically done through a third party.
Okay,
so there are authorized laboratories throughout the world that you can use to do the validation testing. Then you submit those results to FIA. And I believe
Yes.
SFI ENCORE is one of those. They'll actually do that for certain products that do that testing.
So I'm guessing probably TUV would be the organization that they use to test for the SF or for FIA.
Well, I think again, TUV, if I'm not mistaken, is a standard. I don't think that's I don't know.
Okay.
That's more, automotive, over the road type stuff, I believe.
Yeah, and we were talking about the SFI Foundation, and I did put a link in the comments earlier that'll take you to the SFI Foundation's page where they upload notices. And so if anybody is looking at a safety product, you can always go to the SFI Foundation's website, follow the link I sent. There'll be a notice in there if a product has been tested and failed or is a counterfeit or has a fake label. I don't know about the FIA, and in terms of labels, it seems like it's pretty difficult to distinguish between a real label and a fake label, because from an appearance standpoint, they look the same, but dimensionally speaking, I know they have a rule for the size of the label that's used on various different products, and so maybe that's a way you can also check.
Yeah, somewhat. And I think that in the case of examples that they brought to our attention, I couldn't tell because I didn't have it in front of the actual product, but it almost looked like they embroidered it onto the garment, which, so everybody should know, the SFI is a patch. It's a separate patch that is then sewn onto the garment. And in the patch, whether it's a fire suit or shoes or gloves or whatever, different types of patches, but it's an actual patch that's sewn on. So that would be one sure giveaway. If you were to buy a suit, and it looks like it's embroidered onto the suit, then that's a no-go. That's not an SFI supply patch there. And sometimes the quality of the patch, and again, in the examples that I saw, the images of, it was pretty shoddy. You could tell that it's not the SFI label's pretty crisp, pretty clean, good embroidery work, good patch work. In the example shown, or not very clean. The lettering is really blotchy and things like that. So it matched the quality of the rest of the garment.
Yeah, and so for anybody who's interested in reading the Road and Track article, I did put a link in earlier in the comments section that'll take you to that article that they wrote. And again, I want to give a big shout out to Wendy Moretz, who is the one who sent that link to the article over to us. Wendy is a Kenny Brown customer. She uses our suspension on her race car. She's gotten back into racing this year, and I think she's had some pretty good success. So we're so excited to see her on track. Wendy is a longtime instructor for several different driving groups, and we're so pleased to see that she's getting back on track now. So, and good luck to Wendy for the rest of the season. Let's see, do we have any more questions here? Well, we did have Jorge. He's viewing today on YouTube, and his question was basically the same as Joe's. What are the helmets that are, let's see, are tethered or have neck protection? And I guess that's pretty much all of the helmets for the most part that Impact sells or manufacture.
Other than some of the over-the-wall crew helmets, but that's a different animal. And the recreational DOT helmets that we manufacture, like UTV market recreational, things like that. One more thing regarding the counterfeiting thing, and I think and not to knock these types of companies, but it's kind of a red flag. If you see a manufacturer you've never heard of before on some of these very popular online marketplaces, that's probably, you want to really investigate that product that way. A lot of the stuff comes from overseas, and they're because they can't sell them through your traditional distributors and dealers, because they just won't sell that stuff, and most hardly any reputable ones won't. So they tend to sell this through these online marketplaces. So that's kind of a red flag right there. Right? You see something's incredibly cheap, and I've never heard of these guys, and then they're not available anywhere else or any of the larger reputable dealers, and we all know who those are. I won't put down the names because I'll miss somebody and get yelled at, but a lot of reputable dealers out there that sell our product, and others And so that's probably the first place that you really should, look and consider is supporting one of our great U.S.-based dealers in looking for U.S.-based type products or manufacturers. That's going to help right there. But again, regardless of whatever it is, whoever's product it is, if you really want to know, just again go to SFI or FI and do a manufacturer search, and you can find out right away whether they've been homologated or not.
Okay, Brad, are you ready to announce the winner of the Impact Racing Dragon Gloves?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to announce it?
Yes, of course. You said you knew who it was.
Yep, I know who it is, and I think he knows too. So the winner of the Impact Glove giveaway is Speed Therapy Academy alumni member Jay Myers from Buffalo, New York. And so congratulations, Jay.
Yay, congratulations, Jay. Wonderful.
So it pays to be the early bird in this scenario. So you were the first person that commented, and so today's your lucky day.
So
there we go.
That's great. Thank you again, Ben, for offering those gloves. I'm sure Jay will enjoy those. Let's see. I'm going to squeeze in here so we can see each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So get kind of cozy here. Let's see. So this is the end of our show. We really appreciate you, Ben, being on again. Everybody always enjoys you so much. Like I said, we get requests for you all the time. So thank you for showing all the products. I appreciate that. The other thing I wanted to announce is, Brad, do you have a verification on who's going to be here in 2 weeks live? Steve Turner?
I do not yet. Steve is at an NMRA race this weekend, so he has verbally committed. I saw him last weekend in Daytona Beach for the Mustang show that they had here, and so he's interested. I think that he's going to be our special guest in 2 weeks, which will be August something or other. Stay tuned for that. Next weekend, we will be doing a replay of Cars and Coffee with Kenny episode 6. There's some great information in there about learning a new racetrack for the first time and things like that. So we look forward to that encore replay. And then the following week, we hope to have Steve Turner, who's a freelance editor now. He's been in the publishing industry for 20 plus years. Knows Kenny really well. They did a lot of track days together. And he's a wealth of knowledge. So we look forward to that. If plans change, then I will be sure to let you know.
And you've probably read many of the articles and seen much of the photography that he's taken over the years. So that will be a good one. And the next live show is the first weekend in August. So join us then. Obviously, watch Kenny next weekend too. The one thing I wanted to mention on a personal note, many of you that have been with the program for quite a while know that Kenny is a huge Scotch connoisseur. In fact, he has, I think, close to 100 bottles of single malt Scotch, if not more. Yeah, I should show you that. And this Wednesday is International Scotch Day. So he always loves to celebrate that. So if you think about it, have a wee dram and a toast to him this coming Wednesday for National Scotch Day. Great program, and we look forward to seeing you again. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.